here we go. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this week's Ask Alvin show, episode number 26, I think. This is our weekly, or this is my weekly live Q&A show, where it's my mission to educate everybody about pharmacy, natural medicines, wellness, and how we can be living optimally in this life, and the use of pharmacy medicines and natural medicines together. I'm going live on Facebook when I look this way, Instagram if you see me looking to my left. And so the whole idea of this live Q&As is so that I can provide as much value as I can to our clients and our internet friends in Facebook and Instagram. So I'm going to be answering questions live. So if you have a question, please make sure you pop it in the comment section below, and I will do my very best to answer them for you. So obviously want to keep it to wellness related questions, and I'll do my very, very best to answer them. So this is episode number 26. If you're watching the replay, please make sure that you leave some comments below. And if you have a question, pop those in the comments below as well, and I'll answer them next week. Also, I've got to do my legal disclaimer stuff here. So remember, all the advice I give here is general advice only. Please make sure you contact your healthcare professional, your pharmacist or your doctor for advice pertaining to your particular condition. And if I happen to mention any dosages or any doses, please always read the label and use only as directed. And contact your healthcare professional if your symptoms persist. Cool. So before I launch into the show, that was all the legal stuff done. I just want to reiterate that we would really appreciate it if you could like, share, comment about the show, give us a review. It just spreads the word about the fantastic work that I think we're doing. And this is not just a solo effort. My whole team puts this together, and we would just want to spread this out and disseminate some of this information. So cool. That is all for what I'm going to say. So let's just launch into the question. So as I mentioned, if you've got a question, type it below. It'll come up. I'll do my very best to answer them. In Instagram land, do the same thing there. And I'll just roll with it. So let's go. So the first question we've got is from Janet. And she's asking, my 93-year-old mum has pain on the area where she had shingles. The doctors are reluctant to use some pain medication. What else can I use? So, just want to take a few steps back. Shingles is a very common condition that most adults may experience. It's just basically a virus that becomes severely active and typically follows the nerve line around the skin, and it's very common to have it on the trunk of the body. Some people get it around the eyes. Just wherever there's nerves in the body, you can get this really uncomfortable sensation of pain and burning, and it's just really uncomfortable. So you can treat it with antivirals, which will get to some of the underlying cause of the condition. However, you can still experience quite a bit of pain, and the pain can be super annoying, and it has something like this burning sensation. So let's go through it. So Janet, you mentioned your mum's 93 years old. So of course, when you're treating somebody of that age, you're going to be a little bit, most doctors, and rightly so, will be a little bit cautious in treating that kind of pain, because the typical painkillers that we use can make you a little bit too drowsy, all sorts of nasty side effects in terms of constipation usually, and generally for a 93-year-old, not a good idea in using those typical pain meds. So what I would be recommending, and I'm sure I would really encourage you to go back to your doctor as well, Janet, but what I would be recommending is some paracetamol. That works really, really well if we maintain the maximum dose. So that's no more than 8 in a day of the regular paracetamol tablets, or if you're using the long-acting one. But in this case, I'd be suggesting use the fast-acting one. So 2 tablets of the 500 milligrams, 4 times a day, no more than 8 in a day, if your mum can tolerate that and she hasn't got any liver issues there. So we need to be aware of that. Also, magnesium works really well. Works at the nerve endings to relax the nerve endings, because quite often in this kind of pain, the nerves get flared up, and the magnesium helps relaxes the nerves around that area. So magnesium, maximum dose, as always, recommend it in a powder form. Come in and see your pharmacist, or they will recommend the right powder form, or come in and see us, of course. The next thing I would do is you can get some Korean specific for shingles, and it contains the actual ingredient capsaicin. So capsaicin is very similar to what's in chili. So it's an extract of chili that when applied to the area, it sort of decreases the pain impulses from the nerve endings. So you can use this product directly on to the area where there's what we call this neuropathic type pain due to shingles. Using this capsaicin product, you need to use it 3 or 4 times a day directly onto the area. So as I mentioned before, you typically can see along the nerve endings these rashes come up. And you want to ensure that you use this capsaicin afterwards, so not while there's a shingles outbreak, because it'll just slow down the healing process, but you can use this cream afterwards to help manage the pain. So with this capsaicin cream, which is really good, and I would encourage you to use that in conjunction with the paracetamol and the magnesium, 3 to 4 times a day. You need to use it ongoing. It is a slow process, but it works really well. You need to use it for at least 6 weeks before you decide that this is not going to be suitable for her. So go to the pharmacy, get some capsaicin cream. So just when using the cream, because it's chili based, just got to make sure that you wash your hands afterwards. We recommend using some gloves, because if you touch your eyes or your mucous membranes around your body, it's just going to hurt real bad. So Janet, hopefully that answers your question. And you've got 3 strategies there. With the age of your mum, I'd definitely be I'm sure you've already got everything checked out with your doctor, but hopefully that answers your question. Next question I got here is from Joe. Joe says, I'm tired by mid-morning and I think my breakfast might not be sufficient or suitable. I'm having cereals for breakfast. What else can I be doing to maintain my energy levels? Okay, Joe, this is a really common problem. And I would just start with looking at the cereals. What are you eating for breakfast? The cereals are absolutely, I believe, a poor nutritional choice. They're loaded in carbohydrates, refined, and loaded with sugars. So what this does, it just releases a whole heap of energy if you're having all the sugary cereals, and you come crashing down. It doesn't provide a sustained energy source for your body. So what I would be doing for you, my friend, Joe, is be looking at what you're eating for breakfast. So perhaps changing it around a little bit, maybe using a smoothie, a green smoothie. I've spoken about these before with bananas and spinach and a few other things. I can go through the recipe next time. But I'll be looking at smoothies. I'll be looking at alternate energy sources. So, if you've got the time, making some eggs. If you're vegan, you can make so many different types of like chia type puddings. Quinoa flakes are really excellent as well. You can make quinoa puddings as well. It's just about being a little bit organized, and by using coconut oils in there as well, coconut cream and coconut milk, you can start to generate a meal that provides you with the sufficient amount of calories, plus also a sustainable energy source to last you through the morning. I'd also be looking at, Joe, what your coffee intake was, because quite often we can get a coffee crash by having it in the morning, and you may need to top up again. I'd also be recommending some supplementation, Joe. So I find that when I personally take a maca, which is a South American root, it's really a root powder that provides a good amount of energy. I use that in my smoothies in the morning, and I find that keeps me going until about 10, 11 o'clock. Certainly be looking at B vitamins, coenzyme Q10. So B vitamins and coenzyme Q10 work really well together because they allow your cells to function at an optimal level. So they provide the building blocks for your cells to keep going, basically. So really good energy sources there, B vitamins and coenzyme Q10 or ubiquinol, which I've spoken at length. Probiotics as well, just to get the gut firing on all levels. Yes, I love probiotics, but they've just got so many different uses. So I'm always recommending them. So that's what I would be looking at, Joe. There's a few things there that you can do. A lot of things. A lot of it sounds tricky, and certainly it is the diet aspect, which I think is the fundamental component that you need to look at, is tricky and involves a little bit of trial and error. But if you come and speak to a pharmacist or one of our pharmacists, we can help you with that straight away. So that's what I would be suggesting, Joe. So have a look at that. Cool. The next question is from Vincent, and Vincent's traveling overseas and asking how I can prevent DVT. I think I've answered this before, Vincent, but I'll answer again. I think I have. I can't remember. I've done so many of these shows. Let's go. Deep vein thrombosis, or DVT, is it's a blood clot that forms in the deep vein of your legs, and as you have blood flowing through your calf and your leg muscles, usually when you're sitting down for long periods of time, usually greater than 4 hours, and your blood sort of doesn't have the chance to move around, it can clot. And so what happens is the blood clots, and then if it clots and then dislodges, it can get stuck in your blood vessels and cause all sorts of nasty problems. So that's, Vincent, what DVT is, and now you're asking me how I can prevent it. So there's a whole heap of things we can do. First thing, I'll be looking at compression socks. Not very sexy, but they work really well at ensuring that blood is circulating. You want to circulating around the body. You want to get the compression socks that contain the right amount of pressure. So these are measured in millimeters of mercury. When you see that in the pharmacy, the team, anyone in the pharmacy will be able to recommend the right one for you. And by providing the right amount of pressure, you're promoting recirculation of the blood, not being pulled in the legs and in the bottom half of the body, but trying to recirculate it back around. So compression stockings. The other thing you want to do if you're on a plane, I imagine if you're flying for a few hours, is to get up, do some walking exercises every hour or so. You want to start wiggling, doing some mini exercises, some foot pumps, knee lifts. Yes, you do these in the plane. They will help you immensely in keeping the blood circulating and minimizing any clotting, which is what you want to do. And I would also be suggesting you increase your hydration, lots and lots of water, because that'll just, one, push you to the toilet, but two, it will also ensure that you've got the right amount of nutrients flowing through your body, and you're going to be all good and not get dehydrated, which is a common cause of can lead to DVT. The other thing, minimize any alcohol if you can, because alcohol will dehydrate you and also not fun. You can also take some aspirin if your body can tolerate it. You can do low dose aspirin of 100 milligrams. I would start a couple of days before taking the low dose aspirin and continue for a couple of days afterwards, just to ensure that the blood is flowing properly. So that would be my suggestion for you, Vincent, in how to prevent DVT. And in terms of treating it, well, you'd be off straight to the doctor. Don't want to muck around with that stuff. So, cool. Next question we've got is from Caitlin, and she says, I'm vegan. I've been told to supplement with vitamin B12. Why? So the reason that it's recommended for vegans and vegetarians to supplement with vitamin B12 is because B12 is unavailable in most plant-based foods. So that's the reason. Let me just take a step back and let you know, Caitlin, what B12 is good for. So B12 is needed for our cells to function. It's used to make your DNA, your red blood cells. It's important for your metabolism. It's also important to maintain a healthy immune system. It's important for your nerve endings. It helps with brain and nervous system function. And typically, when you're low in B12, you're just going to feel tired all the time. So that is one of the big reasons why we recommend B12 and iron supplementation while you're vegan, basically. So yeah, so when you're vegan, that's what you need to use. So we just want to I just want to go through again. So vitamin B12 is one of those vitamins that is not made in your body. So that's why you need to take it externally or through supplementation and in meat-related products. It's rarely in plant foods, as I mentioned. You can get it in some plant foods, and it's as a fortified agent. So what that means is it's in fortified foods. So that means in foods that have been processed, it gets added back in. B12 gets added back in specifically for this purpose. So you will find that some of the, and I don't like the processed vegan foods too much, but some of the processed vegan foods in, like the nut milks, the almond milks, and the coconut milks, some of the brands have B12 put back in there. You can also nutritional yeast, which many of the vegans know, great for making dips and like the substitute for cheese or, to make cheese with. That has quite a high content of B12 as well, although some people are allergic to B12. Some people are allergic to nutritional yeast or too much of it, so I have that issue. Just going to be careful with that. The last way that, and probably the most convenient way to get B12 is through supplementation. So you want to get the active form of B12 called methylcobalamin. And if you just come in and see a pharmacist, they should always recommend the active form of B12. You want to use the active form of B12 because it starts to get to work a lot quicker in the body. It's the active form, so it doesn't have to be broken down as much by your body to get into a suitable therapeutic dose, which, depending on the preparation you have, is about 1,000 to 6,000 micrograms a day. And you'll just need to work out the right dosage for you, and your pharmacist can help you work that out as well. Yes, so B12. Also, you want to make sure that your B12 is available in a spray or a liquid. because these get absorbed easily typically through the mouth. Is a spray, the one that I usually recommend, and it just brings up your levels of B12 a lot quicker. You can take the tablets, they just take longer to work, not much fun, but I would be recommending the activated vitamin B12 spray. Oh, that's a mouthful. But come in and see your pharmacist, and yeah, we can choose the right one for you. So Caitlin, hopefully that explains why you need to take B12. And certainly not, in my experience, if you're having a whole food, plant-based diet and you're using supplementation with other things like vital greens or any sort of greens and that, you should be okay in terms of energy levels. But always a good idea, if you're feeling tired, to go with the vitamin B12 if you're not getting it in your fortified foods, which is really difficult to get a whole daily dose amount. Excellent. Well, thanks Caitlin. It appears I'm losing my voice, so I'm just gonna wrap this up. As always, I really appreciate it if you make sure you like and share this video. As I mentioned, it just spreads the word about the work that we're doing here. If you have a question, please make sure you leave it in the comments section below. I will answer it for our Instagram people. Please make sure you leave some comments there and I'll answer them next week, or you can jump on to our Facebook page where this video will be hosted, whereas Instagram only lasts 24 hours. I would like to thank the team that helps me put this together. So all the pharmacists, Rasal and Jerry, the team on the floor today, Jenny, Lauren and Catherine, and of course our intern pharmacist, Anna. Also post-production duties with also another Anna and Julius, who do all the magic stuff to this, and so it stays up in internet land. Really appreciate it, all the work that you guys do. And yes, that's great. So that's all done. Thank you. I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.